gonna open up the Water Sewer Commission's meeting. It's at 7:20. And President Bob Josie, Colin here, Assistant Manager Bob Zola. We'll start off with the Assistant Manager Water and Sewer Report.
We didn't have time to do the water report
Oh, you
because
didn't?
me and Steve have been running around with our heads cut off right? This whole project. So
That's kind of interesting.
let's get the monthly sewer report for July. So in July we had 2.02 inches of rain, obviously not enough. Center Grove hauled off 113,100 gallons. We had 3.808, 292 gallons flow through the plant for an average of 122,849. We wasted 163,730 gallons for an average of 5,282 gallons a day. We used 636 gallons of alum, 317 kilowatt hours of electricity, and the river average is 7.3412 feet per second. I don't know if you noticed, but the river's pretty dry.
Yeah.
Is that a low average for the gallons treated? 120, it's at the 122,849.
That is fairly low, but it's so dry out, so we got no I coming in.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
All right.
I'll give you a little update on that as we go through. Actually, since we're on it, I might go through that now.
Was that on the agenda?
No, but I'm just going to give you an update on some of the stuff that's going on because it's part of the monthly sewer. So,
Okay.
What's the minimum flow that we're supposed to have?
so we were supposed to be 16 CFM, but through the new permit, it got lowered some. So we're in better shape now.
That's good.
So yeah, still got to go through some more of that stuff, but once I go through it all, I'll kind of break it all down for you guys. Just started with the new permit. So.
Above normal flow.
Yeah, so let's see, we completed the third quarter toxicity testing, and the DMRQA study 42 is officially closed. So part of the sewer, some of the stuff that we were doing on the I&I work, they cambered a lot of lines, cambered all of North Street. Most of North Street looks pretty good. There was a couple good-sized leaks that we kind of found before. So I think we just need to repair those instead of replacing or doing all that if we do North Street. So that'll save a lot on that budget. So hopefully we can get some funding to do the water main and potentially a tank up there.
Where was the
Leaks. So there's the manhole at the end of Pond Street.
Yeah, I was gonna say that would always.
Yeah, that manhole near the end of the pond, and then from pond back one, heading up North Street.
Yeah.
In between there's a lateral that's leaking around it pretty good.
That's right. That process.
Yeah, that whole
Both
thing is
sides
wet
are
right
there.
Yeah, right.
But other than those two, it
Well,
was
how long ago did they do that? Before it got really dry?
do what?
How long ago did they do that? Kind of,
In July.
so it's pretty dry then.
Yeah, so it's pretty dry. So we know when it's really wet, we're gonna have even more water coming.
Yeah, I remember seeing them out doing stuff
Yeah.
around.
Yeah. So.
Well, that's good. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah,
So-
overall we haven't had a lot. Actually, some of the worst pipes I seen were some of the ones in Eagles View, but that's private. So there's one spot that they couldn't get through with the jetter they were using, so we're probably going to take our jetter up there and clean it up better. But right when you first go in, you got that hill,
Yeah.
so it's deep right there.
Yeah, that's a pump down by the road.
Yeah, there's a pump down, but that section that comes through that big hump, they couldn't. They tried this way, then they went and tried coming back the other way, and there's a section in the middle that they can't get past. There's so much stuff built up in there.
Oh, wow.
But also, when you're going through, you can see the pipe is kind of egg-shaped, so they compacted it too much on top of that pipe. So there's also a hole in one of the pipes. Looks like they put it right on rock, and the rock was protruding through. That was in a couple spots. One that was actually punctured through. The other one you can see like the protruding rock, but it's not punctured yet. So I'm gonna jet that a little better. So as part of that whole I&I study that we're doing, they did a good amount of the town, but I haven't given me a price to do some additional work so we can get most of the rest of the town done. So then we'll kind of have the entire town done for the cammering part. They're going to start smoke testing. I think they'll start sending out the notices next week. Just got to notify everybody. I'm sure you guys, were you here when they did smoke test last night?
Yeah.
So you know what happens. So, so we're going to notify everyone. They had some budget money in there to do some dye testing if we needed to. And I said, we'll scrap the dye testing because they only had 3 sections. I don't have the map in here, but they had 3 sections that they were going to smoke test. And I said, well, how much more to do the other 2? Because there's 5 sections. And so I said, if you wipe out the dye testing and just do the smoke testing, it's like another $1,500 or $1,800, $700. So I said, well, just do that. Get all the smoke testing done, so we'll have the whole town smoke tested as well.
That's good.
So that'll accomplish all of that, and then we'll know exactly what we need to target for repairs. And as I had mentioned before, you know, my intent would be any additional growth going on, I would try to target and say, all right, if you're going to add this much flow, I need you to eliminate this much I&I. So that way we can get somebody else to pay for all the repairs. So we'll continue to work on that. But, so overall, it was good that we cambered North Street and we cambered this north, and I have cambered Gilboa as well because I had a little bit of time left in one of the days. So we cambered those 2, and I don't need to line these 2. The only one that looked like it could probably use lining is C Street, and I think that's because we got that pump station from Davis Street discharges into C Street. So I think with that pump station kicking on, it causes some turbulence there. So that one road so far, we may need to line that one. But North Street looked okay, Gilboa Street looked okay. So I think we're in better shape for those roads. But like I said, we got a couple more roads that I want to get done. Main Street, Depot Street.
So that was all wastewater, right?
Yes, it's all
wastewater. So this line's getting changed anyway. This all the way
the
down.
force main, not the gravity.
Oh,
So
okay.
none of the gravity's getting changed, but the force main is. We're adding a little gravity to get up to like time the project goes on by time. So.
Good.
So yeah, we should be in decent shape there.
Sounds good.
We are replacing all the frames and manhole covers within the area that we're doing work for the water and sewer stuff. So we're gonna fix all of it. So new frames and covers for the wastewater manholes, the drain, and the drain manholes, catch basins. So, because we're gonna do full mill and overlay, we might as well
Yeah, do everything.
get everything done so it's all where it needs to be, and
Yeah.
we won't have to do anything on the road for.
Just in case anything needs to be built up, repair underneath it, and let us start crushing the bricks and stuff.
Yeah. So, we did anything that we saw for potential development, we stubbed off to get it off the road, so. So we should be in good shape there.
I don't have any minutes, right?
No, I know she was working on them the last couple of days. I think she only had a few more to go. I think she wanted to send them all to you, to have you go through them ahead of time. I know you had requested that.
It's a good idea.
So she'll send them all to you so that next time,
It's me and the
yeah, she'll probably have them done tomorrow, so she can send you those, and you guys can review them before the meeting, so we don't sit here on camera for 30 minutes.
Yeah, read them, yes.
Yeah.
So project update, and I shared with you guys that we did receive the EDA grant. We've got a stack about that thick that we have to go through to see all the stuff that they require, the reporting and the financial stuff. So Matt's going through it. I've got through most of it already. A lot of it's political stuff, but
Yeah.
once we get through that, and the selectmen, I believe they're supposed to be voting on authorizing Matt to sign everything tonight. So hopefully we can get that signed and back in, and then EDA reviews whatever we have for comments or anything, and then they can send us a notice to proceed. So once we get the notice to proceed, we already have all the contract documents and everything ready. So as soon as we get the notice to proceed, we can put it out to bid for the project. So, like I said, on that part of the project, we had an alternate on line in the sewer, but we don't need to because we already looked at that, so I had to pull that out just to make the contract cleaner. So for the current project that's going on, all of Gilboa Street's pretty much done. We just got to dig up over here to get rid of that the corporation that we pressure tested and chlorinate through. So they'll dig that up, cap that to finish paving that section. Then we've got to do the 2 taps for the mill. So we're going to tap a new service for them and a new fire connection for them. Supposed to do that Monday morning. We just tied in Charles Street this morning. Today it took all day. So we went with a 12 by 12 T just after the bridge, so we straightened that out, because the way it used to go, it used to come like it came down North Street, and then you had the bridge here, Charles Street here. So this came around, and they wide off over here. Then they went this way, then they went this way, then they went this way.
Oh.
So it was a lot of 90s and stuff here. So we just teed in over here and came straight up Charles. So this was 6-inch going down Charles. So we put a 12 and we just came, it was like a little over 90 feet. And then we connected back to the 6-inch.
So then this is all gone.
Yeah, so this is all gone, eliminated here. So now the main just comes down. We got a T there. We got a hydrant branch here because we have a hydrant there.
Yeah.
But you got rid of all that crazy.
Where do we go, beyond the fence there? Or up to the gate?
No, you can see where the asphalt patch is. Like I said, it was about 90 feet, so it was just beyond their fence, because that's where the line came over. So it was just beyond that. So we're not quite to the driveway or anything. But, and that was pretty much all the pipe that we had left. Because that wasn't originally on the plan to do that, but I talked to them and they said, yeah, we'll clean it up and fix that area. So, so we fixed that with the pipe we had left, but we had to save the 2 sticks of pipe we got left now to do the tap and sleeves to run the mill pipes in. So
What size are going in there?
well, I did 2 12-inch tap and sleeves, and then we'll reduce down to what they want. I think they want a 6-inch going in for their domestic service and a 10-inch for the fire. But since it's a 12-inch main, I just said do 12-inch tap and sleeves. We'll get it off the road to a 12-inch. Put 12-inch valves, and then you can reduce down after that to whatever size you need, so that if they expand the pot factory or whatever and they need more flow, we don't have to dig back up in the road.
I thought there was a 4-inch main in there. 6?
It is a 4 now.
Oh,
They're
it is
going to
4.
6.
Yeah, just like that.
But they want to separate it so they
They
can
have a 4-inch meter.
Yeah, so they want 2 separate meters, one for the marijuana grow facility and one for the rest of the building. So while they're doing all this, they're going to reconfigure that.
Do that.
Have two backflow preventers right after the meters.
So that's it for the rest for the whole water project that's left to be done.
So we just got to tie in services
For
up
this
here.
phase of it anyway.
So we tied in all the services
Yep.
at the end of last week down in Gilboa. Unfortunately, yesterday they finished tying them in. And the last one over here, there was a valve open inside, so we flooded the basement. So
On which one?
Right here. Again.
So I went last night, pumped all that out, squeegeed everything out I could, went and bought a couple dehumidifiers, brought them in, put them in over there.
At least
Brought a
there was
fan
water
down
in
there.
that sewer just.
Yeah. So what was open on the inside?
Well, where it comes in with the meter, most people have like a silk or a boiler drain or something
Yeah,
right there.
yeah.
Well, she had something like that, and somebody turned it on
And then never shut it
and
off.
didn't shut it off before we turned it back on. So
Does that fall under our? That's not our issue, is it?
it is
Yeah,
kind of
we-
our
yeah.
issue. So there was just a bunch of things that kind of all played into that. It was
Obviously, we'll help them out that way.
right. So, we took care of it. So
Yeah,
it's all
okay.
set now. But
All right.
I guess we'll see a bill for dehumidifiers. But small price, I guess.
Yeah.
So overall, they went fairly well. We did have a couple that we dug up. Our tie cards and everything said, here's the curb stop. We found it. They dug up, hooked it up. Went to turn on, went inside. No water. Like, what the hell? One of them being Reed's house.
Yep.
So hooked up to it, went inside. I'm like, let me go look. So I went in, and I'm like, wow, why is the curb way over here? The water comes in over here. I look, there's a piece of crimped copper dripping. I'm like, oh, shut that off.
Oh.
So we went and found a new curb that was down further.
Yeah.
So we had to dig that back up, take all the stuff out, go over and reconnect it to the
Did you
actual.
have to reach out to Maine, or were you all right?
We had to retap the main. Yeah, it was
Too far away.
50 feet away.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah. We did have another one that was same thing. You hooked up, it was dead, but there was another curb, only 6 feet away. So
Oh, I think
they were able to just
did I
sweep
see
that
you
over.
do- That's one I was watching you do.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you were down there.
That was way up in the back.
Yeah. So, but overall, everything went
Anyway.
pretty smooth.
Some of those the old black plastic we were using years ago.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, that stuff is brutal.
it is.
Mhm.
So, like I said, all we got left is the tie-in the services up here. So connect all the houses. Tomorrow they're gonna take down all that bypass piping. It's already shut down, but they're gonna disassemble all that tomorrow. And then, like I said, Monday they'll do the tap and sleeves, and the rest of this week they'll be doing these services. And then it should be pretty much done.
What size pipe goes into the mill? I mean, Haywood Landing, rather.
It's a 4-inch service for the. I did a 6-inch and reduce it. We're gonna reduce it down to a 4. Like I said, anything that might need expansion, I just wanted to
Keep it off the road.
make sure we had the right size to get us off the road.
Yep.
Then it's only one fitting to go drop it down to the size that they're using.
There's sprinklers in it too, isn't it?
Yes, so they did have sprinklers off of the river, so we ran a new line in. So we have an 8-inch fire service line going in and out. But it was weird because they had, when we dug it up, so here's a little island thing and the driveway comes around. We had that hydrant right here. The hydrant didn't feed this way. The hydrant fed this way. And there was an 8-inch service coming in this way with a gate valve that was buried. So it was buried, the gate box was gone. They found the top of the valve and they're like, what the heck is this? So it was open. So this was feeding this hydrant. And then there's a couple other gate valve boxes back here. I have no idea what it was, but they already had a big, like I said, an 8-inch service going in.
Huh.
I don't know what it went to. It's all disconnected now, but
Yeah.
so it seems like they.
Oh, wait a minute.
So there was 2 things with that place.
Listen. What do you think?
I was just trying to think back 2 years when it was 1972.
Yeah. Right.
But there was 2 different businesses there.
There was.
Yeah, the back building,
And
and then they had the.
Percy Gio and I ran a new fire hydrant, a new line in. They had loading docks down there,
Yeah.
and we had to shrink some of the piping.
Oh yeah. Well, that's all discontinued now. So then another one.
That was before Haywood Landing.
Yeah, you know where the office
Mr.
building is?
Mr. Christmas. That would have been Mr. Christmas.
Yeah.
Right? And,
Yeah.
and then the other, then they had the mill pond.
I remember Percy and I was helping him out run some 4-inch mains in there for the fire protection, I think.
So you know their driveways come around like this, and they got that old what used to be an office building or something there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little apartment building now,
Yep.
and then that little driveway goes down behind there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, off this guy's back corner of his house, there was like 4 PIVs and a hydrant. They're all painted black, and there's supposed to be a valve pit that the guy filled in. So I was like, well, before they started doing this work, we went to investigate a little bit. I went in the mill, went down in the basement area, went looking around. Well, there was an 8-inch service coming off of this, went into the building, all the way through, and then it came out in the middle of the building, just an open pipe. So I'm like, luckily nobody turned that valve on. We would have flooded the whole basement of that place. So I don't know what all this stuff was for. There's like 4
This is where
PIVs.
this is where that other building was in the back. There was another big building down there, remember? In the back, going in. Where that office thing is now, that was part of,
You mean the front building, the brick building in the front?
yeah.
That little one that's like right up on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So we discontinued that line
All
too.
that is right there, in the back
Yeah.
of that building?
Yeah, that was the office.
There's like a little
That was-
triangle in the back there.
That was the office, yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, that was the office. That was,
That was going way back when it was
Yeah.
yeah.
So anyway, we discontinued this. So that's not connected anymore. So we can get all that stuff out of there.
Mhm.
But yeah, so they had a big pipe going in. I don't know why they never connected that for their fire system, or this line over here. I mean, they had a couple lines, big lines that were going down there, and they never had them hooked into anything. So at least we cleaned a lot of that up.
Yeah.
And then
Now, that 8-inch line, is that, there was a valve on it? It was shut off, and that's gonna be discontinued?
yeah, we didn't
Like,
reconnect
that's
it.
off the old main,
Yeah, all that's gone.
so we don't have to worry about it.
Right. And then coming down here, so this is Charles. Here's our gate coming in here. Comes around and goes up that way. So we were digging this line over, and we dug up a pipe that was going this way. We ripped it out. It came over, but it was like a line and then an elbow, almost like a flange fitting here. But it like fed down here, so I don't know if they had, back when it was axe mill or something, if they had like a 4-inch line coming in. But it almost seemed like it was a hydrant branch
Yeah.
sticking up. Don't know what that was, but
What was here before?
Axmill.
The axe mill, yeah.
so I don't know if that was part of that. We also found an iron service that was feeding down this way somewhere. So those all came out.
I never figured.
But, yeah, you never know what
That stuff. That's way
stuff
back
all
then.
over the place under the ground over here.
Yeah.
How they discontinued or whatever.
So you eliminated all those.
Hmm?
You eliminated all those, yeah.
Yep.
Nobody's complaining about not having any water, so.
Not yet. That's what I said. You know, we got rid of a bunch of stuff, but
Well, that's good. Clean up that.
yeah. So at least now we'll know everything that's there. And all these T's and stuff, you get valves, it's like, all right, what does this go to? And I know, I think Steve actually, the old Steve, actually turned that one over by the office building. And he heard it raging, so he's like, I don't know, because it was closed. So he opened it. So he probably dumped a lot of water at the bottom of Haywood Landing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why they would do that like that without,
Think.
you know, if I had an open pipe going into my building, I'd be like, yeah,
Take
Yeah,
it. Cap it.
open
Cap
that
it
up,
off.
you know,
Yeah.
well, I'd close it and fill it with concrete
Yeah.
Mhm.
so that nobody can turn it on like that. But anyway, so.
That's good. It's all cleaned up.
That's where we stand with all that stuff, so.
So everything went pretty well in that whole project.
Yeah, no, I mean, I gotta
Had a schedule.
give this contractor props, and they've done a great job there. You know, you've seen them a few times, they got a system down, and they just move.
Unbelievable. And everybody that talked, you know, said they did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
The roads are smoother than what they were before.
A few bumps now when they did the hydrant branches, because they can't compact it
Yeah,
around
can't,
where the
right,
gate box there, but
Yeah, it was good.
that's why we wait until next year to pave, so
Mhm.
everything can
Everything's
settle when we get
solid.
everything right. So, but overall, yeah, everything went well. So hopefully they bid on the sewer portion too.
Yeah. And then what about the next phase?
For which phase?
For
For the sewer?
the new grant.
For the 3.1, the one that we just got? Yeah, so that's what I was saying, is we gotta go through the contracts.
Yeah.
Matt's getting authorization from the selectmen tonight. He can sign that, get it back to EDA. They'll go through it and then send us a notice to proceed. We've already got all the contract documents ready to go. So as soon as we get that letter, we'll publish,
Then they can bid.
and then they can bid on it.
So the timeline is still.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's the timeline though?
It's more the timeline. It could be this year or no.
This, so, we have to get sewer down in Blackstone Valley, so the pump station might be a little bit of a hang-up, because it's a prefab, so they've gotta build it to our specs. But we can limp by with the pump station we have, because I don't think that they'll be fully functional down there for a while anyway.
No. The new 6-inch force main, that's under this new contract.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So the 4-inch force main from the Blackstone Valley Logistics up to our station would be under this next contract. And the 6-inch force main and the sewer pump station will be under this contract. The pump station, like I said, we can tie in their line into our gravity now and go into our pump station. So we can get by for now with them. They'll put the new 6-inch in, and then it's just a matter of waiting to switch over until we get the new pump station. Or you could even get all that tied in, the 4 and the 6, and then the pump station, the existing pump station, we could temporarily tie into the new force main and then just switch it when they put the new.
I'm assuming they make provisions for if this project ever goes in over here.
For the CRG project,
Yeah,
that's going forward.
that's going forward. So
Take
we
it.
already got the lines ready to go.
Well, no, I mean, they'll have to tie into what we're gonna be doing in this next project.
And we have to tie into the water too.
Yes.
Tap that.
Yeah, so they'll have to tap that. I'm meeting with them tomorrow to go over what they need to do. We'll want to get that tapped soon for their water so we can get it off the road, but you know, it's still going to be, the sewer's still going to be there, so. But they do want to get going. They want to have all their water stuff, lines, as long as they can get pipe, they want all that in this fall before it gets to winter, so.
Now, is that going under the river or
No, they're gonna,
Spend it.
go across the
they're
bridge?
putting a bridge across, and they're gonna build like a box culvert type thing under the bridge to hang the pipes under the bridge. I think they said they were gonna heat it. I don't know how they're gonna heat it, but I don't know. I guess
I'm sure the engineers will figure that out.
you're building a $125 million building. I guess they'll figure it out. So,
Mhm.
but, so yeah, they'll run the water and sewer both in the bridge. Water, sewer, and electric will all go under that.
You'll have to run two separate.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I'll be discussing that with them tomorrow over that. We had a preliminary everybody meeting today, but they wanted a specific meeting with me tomorrow to go over those details, because that's kind of the first stage. They're gonna do the site work, get everything graded, and get the pad kind of laid out, and get the utilities in the ground, so. But that'll be good if they can get all the water lines in.
Then get pipe.
They probably have a little more pull than us.
Yeah. I'm sure they've probably been anticipating that as well. So
Yeah, so,
I'm sure
And
they've
then,
had things involved.
and I think it may be Vinagro doing the site work to get the initial grading and leveling done. They're the ones that are doing the Blackstone Valley logistics site work, and they're doing
And they're gonna go up and do the other one.
yeah, they'll come over to this one. They're also doing that.
Are they related?
3 million.
And, I mean, as far as the project somehow, or
Nope,
they just happen to hire the same contractor?
that's a big contractor. I mean, I don't know if you've seen some of the size of the equipment that Vinagro
Yeah, I
has.
did. It's pretty big.
Have you been out by the Charlton site?
No.
That 3 million square foot that they're doing out in Charlton? Well, that's Vinagro out there. They got tons of equipment out there. But I would assume I know they're starting to do the building, so most of the site work's probably done, so they'll probably just move all that equipment over.
Yeah, it's a big building, huh? 3 stories.
Yeah, going to Charlton.
What's going in there?
Amazon.
Amazon.
Jasmine? Was that? I think I remember reading about that now.
That one's being built, huh?
That was on,
May-
that was a farm.
may
right?
not
Was
open
Did they
it.
buy a farm? Is it the one, the farm that they bought?
No, I think that was the apple orchard. That was, I think that was the Goldstein was trying to do the pot factory.
Oh, okay.
That one, he said, never mind. He won in court, and then he said, never mind, I'm gonna build it out here. So found another location to build it, I guess, but,
Yeah, good. So everything's moving along nicely.
Yeah, seems to be going very good.
And
yeah, so we did put in for a MassWorks grant to do North Street for the engineering. So we can try to get the engineering done hopefully this year and push for a MassWorks grant next year to MassWorks or EDA to do the water line over and potentially a tank up there. So,
that'd be nice.
and then I also had a conversation with the people doing the top of Caswell.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like they want to start moving forward. So some of the conversation there was that supposedly someone had looked at putting a golf course up there
That was years ago, yeah.
and some over 55 housing.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that they had the engineers look at it and they said that their water requirement would be about 1 million gallons a day.
Phew.
And that they claim that they have potentially that source up there. He says it's an aquifer up there. I don't know. You know, I'd said we should probably look at it before, but we didn't time it out right, I guess. So he's interested in talking about that, whether the town could use that as an aquifer.
Was that identified on any of our maps?
No,
No?
not that I saw.
So what,
So we don't know. I mean,
what
Right,
documentation, do they have any documentation
Yeah, I gotta
on?
I gotta have more conversation with him. The conversation just kind of came out quickly, and it was
So how do they know it's an aquifer? Because it hasn't been identified on any of our maps.
right. So that's why I said I don't know. I'd have to have our engineers go up there, drill some test holes, quality, determine if it's viable. Then we can talk. But
Mhm.
you know, we'd have to get something
Yeah,
to go up there and look at it.
yeah.
So I mean, I'd have to figure out how much land
What do they
that
want
would
to put up
require.
there?
Senior housing.
Senior?
Yeah. So they proposed like 3 different scenarios. I think what they were shooting for was more of a mostly single family and then a section of duplex style. So kind of a mixed. So
But you'll have to get water and sewer up there.
yeah. So I already explained to them that they're gonna have to either come from the Gilboa North Street intersection with a new pipe up Gilboa and then up Caswell,
Mm-hmm.
or go the Mechanic Street. So go Mechanic to Manchog and up Caswell. Either way is fine with me.
Yeah.
I think an easier route for them is probably come down Gilboa,
Mm-hmm.
just because they repaved and that's state road
Yeah.
going down Manchog. So
Yeah.
might be less headaches to come right down Gilboa, and we know we've got all new pipe up to there.
Yeah.
So, and I also told them that they need to loop through Pond Street. Because everybody knows we lose water at the top of Caswell anytime anyone opens anything
Yeah.
lower. And this is all tied in now, so we should stop losing water up North Street now. Everything we did, every time we do something, we lose water up there. But
Yeah.
it just tells us how bad Gilboa is.
Yeah. I'll probably end up, I probably should recuse myself from anything, the project up on Caswell. Since I did bid on that property originally. I didn't get the bid, but I
Yeah.
did bid on it, so I think I probably should recuse myself on, I don't want anybody coming back saying, if I didn't get the bid,
Oh, yeah,
and then
okay.
say I could,
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't
make a
know where,
decision.
I don't know where you would have a financial gain or anything.
There's no financial gain,
Right.
but it's someone, if I make a decision that somebody doesn't like, they could say,
Right.
well, he didn't get the bid, so, he's doing that, so I think I'm very best off on,
Well, so far, everything I told him, I didn't
Yeah.
come to you guys to.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
so,
just so it's open, I don't wanna be clear about that.
yeah. Yeah, so I'm just kinda filling you guys in on what I explained would need to happen in order to make that viable up there, otherwise they'll be losing water left and right up there, so.
Yeah.
Then if we happen to get the North Street and tank up there, and then we get to put that loop through pond down there, that whole end of town won't have any water issues again, so. And it's just a matter of the small side streets back here
Would
that,
they be able to tie into that new line up on North Street in the tank?
through Pond Street.
They could do that?
Yeah, so if we loop through Pond, the flow from that tank would feed through there, so you kind of have that looped and you'd never have to worry about any losing water or anything, so. It's just a matter of getting the tank up there to do that supply. So. But we keep working on that too, so. That's about it that I got for project updates right now.
Wow, that was pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Still a lot.
quite a bit.
Yeah. And year-end wrap-up, we're gonna work on that.
Yeah.
Do that stuff. Got, goals and objectives, I think we already know
I think we got enough goals and objectives going on right now. Yeah.
That's why I agree, we got enough.
So I did have one thing that just came up. I guess the town moved to the boot allowance from $100 to $300. I don't know if they needed you guys to approve that as well, or if we
What
just
was
fell
that?
into that. So the boot allowance
Oh, yeah.
for boots, I'm sure you guys know how much boots cost.
Yeah,
Actually, those I just bought, they were $330. So.
yeah.
So they upped it for the town to 300. So, like I said, I don't know if that applies to us or if you guys would have to vote on that separately.
Is it in the personnel bylaw?
I'm not sure.
If it's not in the personnel bylaw, then we probably have to vote on it, so.
We have to vote on it.
I would think so, if it's not spelled out in the.
Right. So I'll check where that falls.
Yeah,
But I didn't know if you guys were opposed to that or not. So they were setting up an account with Danielson Surplus so they could go in up to $300. Just buy it and they'll bill it right to the town instead of going through the reimbursements and all that. So, I know we've got one employee that he didn't get his reimbursement because he's taking a stance on the policy that says he has proof of purchase by the receipt, but he used a credit card, and the finance department always requires proof that the credit card was yours or whatever, so she won't reimburse until she either sees the credit card or a canceled check, whatever. But if you pay cash, she'll take the receipt. So it doesn't make sense to me so much, but
I had the same problem.
I know. So he's trying to take a stance, prove a point. The policy says show proof of purchase, which he did with the receipt, and he gave her the box to show that he had them or whatever. But so this would kind of eliminate that issue.
so it's just the credit, she's looking for the credit card statement?
So she wants to see. She doesn't even need the statement. She just wants to see the card with the last four numbers, because on the receipt it shows the last four numbers. So if she sees the credit card with the last four numbers, but
Big house, where that, what if it was
Well, that's what I
wife's
said.
wife's
What if-
card, or it was girlfriend, what was?
that was my argument. I'm like,
that's
I
not really,
don't think it really
I
matters
think that's, I don't agree
who,
with that, I don't agree
who
with that.
paid for it,
Right,
but
right.
I signed off on it. You guys signed off on it, so I would
That
think it
should
should
be-
get reimbursed. But
It should be reimbursed.
so I'm just saying that if we went along with this policy, it would eliminate that issue. You just go there, get them, and it gets billed directly to the town.
Yeah.
So, so I don't know if you guys want to think about it, and we can decide on the next meeting, or
Yeah, I'm in favor, whatever works out.
Yeah, I have no problem with it. I mean,
if we have
the
to,
town's gonna do it,
yeah,
we should follow.
it's not, if there's nothing spelled out, I don't think it is in the personal, I don't think it
I don't
gets, I don't
think
think it's that gritty,
Right.
nitty-gritty stuff. And it's a monetary thing, so I think it's gonna have to come through this department.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would make a motion that we support that.
Alright. So you would have to second that, Chief.
Oh, no, okay, I'll second it.
Not to exceed
300.
300, consistent with what the town is.
That's for what, clothing and boots or
No, just for the boots.
Just for boots.
Because we get our
Right.
uniforms here, so.
All in favor?
Aye.
So that clears that. Okay. Anything you guys got?
I don't have anything.
Only thing, just following up on the job descriptions.
I was talking to him
I was just
about
talking about that earlier.
that. So the job descriptions, those
Yeah,
are all set.
done. We got
Yeah, I
those
just need to get it
approved.
posted next. I'm hoping to get it out next week.
Okay.
Wanted to last week, but there's too many different things happened last week, so. So we had the bypass blow apart.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
night that's, I don't know who you heard it from, but
Yeah.
so we had the person that wanted to do the detail for a different company because he didn't want to be here all day. So he figured he could take a detail over there doing half a day. So I got the water main blowout up here, so I came in for that. And then I got the alarm calls that we lost primary and booster. So, and I also heard it come over the radio that car accident on West Street. I'm like, oh man. So I go over there, I'm looking, and there's actually somewhere up here on North Street, that GT 500 or GT 350. You ever see that car up here? It's under the cover all the time, right on North Street. Well, anyway, it hit,
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
hit the telephone pole over there, popped the fuse, so we had no power to turbine or primary. So I go over there, and here he comes with grid. He's like, I'm like, I thought you wanted an early day, you had stuff to do. He goes, I still haven't gotten home.
Yeah. You told me about that. So you thought it'd be an easy one.
And it had to be 10 o'clock before you got
It was. It was like 10 o'clock.
Because it was like 9:30. I was still over there with him when we were getting that going.
Thought it'd be done at noon.
But he had two issues. I guess
Yeah.
somebody over here drove down the road with a dump truck up,
Yeah, they
took out all the wires down,
Oh, really?
16.
down Davis.
Yeah. I mean, at Davis.
So he left that to go over to this one. So much for an early day to get stuff done at home. All right, that's all I got.
Yeah, I don't have anything else.
How's that? All right.
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah,
What time we got?
8:00.
8 o'clock.
8:02.
All right. Second. All in favor?
Aye.